was excellent, excellent. We're going to move straight on. So Tony, are you around? Ready to come on, Tony? Yeah. So Tony Coleman is about to come onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tony Coleman.
Thanks very much, everyone. Nice to be here. All right. So first of all, I'm an English language teacher. I teach English online, and I have a lot of Arabic students. Something I've noticed with my Arabic students is that when they speak, they make a lot of kind of sounds. And I realized, oh, hang on, I'm a Scouser. I also make a lot of sounds. So it's something that we've got in common. Once one of my Arabic students and I both said the word Kit Kat at the same time, and both of our microphones just exploded. I live down south, so I get a bit self-conscious about my accent. One day I wanted to feel a bit better about myself, so I did a search for this Scouse accent sexy, which was a terrible idea. I found a Reddit thread where people were arguing about whether or not Scouse accents are sexy, and a lot of people were kind of saying no. But one person actually came to our defense and they said, well, think about it. Scousers must find their own accents sexy, or they would have died out. So I'm teaching at a school in Brighton where I live. Two of the teachers there have just had babies, and they were telling me that they arrange play dates for the babies, so it's quite sweet. And because of these play dates, the babies have become best friends. Here's my thing though. Babies can't make friends with each other, can they? Let's be real about it. How old do you think you have to be before you can make a real friend? I think it's 35. And I'm 34. So that would be nice. I don't know about all of you, but I honestly, I just sit home in front of my laptop most nights nowadays. Do you all know what ChatGPT is? Yeah, right? It's terrifying because it seems like it knows everything, but I thought it might be able to help me with my stand-up. So I told it a joke. Ready? Someone said to me once that to be a teacher, you must need a lot of patience. And I said, no, you're thinking of a doctor. So here's what ChatGPT said. I am just a chatbot. I do not have personal opinions or emotions, but I can tell you that this joke is not considered funny by most people. All right, I've got a question for you. I presume you've all seen TV adverts for banks, right? Yeah. Have you noticed the voiceover accents for these adverts? Are they usually Northerners or Southerners? Oh, no, it's Northerners. Almost always Northerners. Does anyone know why? Trustworthy. Research shows that Northern accents are considered the most trustworthy. When they say Northern accents, do you think that that includes Scouse accents? Alright lads, this is Scotiabank. Gives you money. I grew up in Liverpool, of course. I went to an all-boys secondary school in Liverpool, which was just wild. When I did my GCSE in PE, my PE teacher was the invigilator. So he's walking around the exam hall, and when he gets to my desk, he just goes, that one's B, and then walks off. In hindsight though, I think really that is just indicative of an underfunded comprehensive school. And you know what else is indicative of an underfunded comprehensive school? The answer was C. Alright, I've got one more memory from secondary school, but it's pretty messed up. Do you want to hear it? Yeah. Okay. One day, when we were in year 7, we were all given paedophile alarms. Let me just explain. Just little blue plastic 99p alarms that I suppose we were supposed to set off if we thought that a nonce was afoot. I don't know. Obviously, it just backfired on the school, right? Because if you think that 12-year-old boys would react to being given paedophile alarms with the seriousness that that situation deserves, you would be wrong. The next morning, our geography teacher walked into class, and we all just set them off at once. Now that I am a teacher, that is exactly the kind of behaviour that I no longer appreciate. I taught a class this summer, and it was the worst class I have ever taught. It was a really obnoxious class of Italian 15-year-olds. One day I was setting up the class, and this one girl at the back, Francesca, she just started waving her phone at me. She'd written something on Google Translate, and I said, Francesca, I can't read it from there, but can you just play the audio?
Teacher, I have a question. Can you explain why you are such a knobhead?
So that's my work life. I've been a teacher for about 10 years. When you're training to be a teacher, you do something called a learner profile. So basically, you find a student, you interview them, you record it, and then you give them feedback. So I interviewed a Brazilian guy, recorded it, and I was listening back to it. I was kind of half listening. It's very likely that I was hungover as I was doing it. So I'm half listening to it, and at one point I just heard, eh. So I pressed pause, and I made a note that's something like, students struggling to speak fluently, over-reliant on filler sounds. And then I pressed play again, and I heard, so what part of Brazil are you from? Alright, I feel like we've built up enough trust now, so I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me in an STI clinic recently. So, in the STI clinic in Brighton, they give you free condoms. Usually they give it to you when you're in the exam room, but they forgot. So I went into the reception area, but I still wanted the free condoms because we're in a cost of living crisis. So I said to the receptionist, excuse me, can I get the condoms please? And she said, sure, what size? And I said, just large. And she went, okay. So she walked out, came back with a bag and said, I put some large and some medium in there for you, love. I am single at the moment. I'm sure that's got nothing to do with what I've just said. But my ex was American. And it's interesting, the cultural differences. Once we were supposed to be going out together, and I was late, and she got a bit angry, and she said, don't just sit there with your thumb up your ass. Have you heard this phrase, anyone? Do you know what it means? It means waste time, right? That's what she told me. That's a weird phrase, right? Because I don't know about you, but it never feels like a waste of time when I have my thumb up my ass. Always get to laugh that joke. No matter how little you think of it, it always gets a laugh. Okay, I did that joke once. I promise you this is true. There was an American lady in the audience, and I said, oh, you'll know this phrase, have your thumb up your ass? And she said, does that mean when you've got the hiccups and someone sticks their thumb up your ass to stop it? What's going on in your house, love? Alright, well, I hope none of that was too offensive. I do think it's hard to know what is offensive sometimes, I think. So last year I got invited to a Halloween party, and I didn't want to wear an offensive costume. So I did a search for offensive Halloween costumes, and the first result was this article that said, 15 costumes you definitely shouldn't wear in 2024. So I clicked on it, and a lot of it was reasonable, but then one thing that it said was that you shouldn't go to a Halloween party dressed as an eating disorder. Like, okay, but has anyone ever gone to a party dressed as an eating disorder? So then I did another search for best Halloween costumes, and the first result was Amazon. So I was scrolling through, and then I found this. Just to prove that this is a real Halloween costume, I'd like someone to read out the product description. So, could you do this? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. So just nice and clear, please.
Adult men's funny 80s scouser shall suit.
All right, that's enough. Thanks. Can you see that? So, in summary, if you go to a Halloween party this year, you can't go dressed as an eating disorder, but you can go dressed as me. So knock yourself out. Thanks very much, everyone. I'm Tony Coleman, at Tony Coleman Comedy on Instagram. Have a great night.
Absolutely fabulous, wasn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have another little interval now, probably about 10 minutes.